Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we've just learnt that patch 1.2 is going to be dropping tomorrow at 8 AM, I think that's UTC, and there is a bunch of new changes coming. So we've got the Kaleidoscope map rework, not the renewal one though, that is apparently going to be coming in Season 2. We've got some updates to the specialists, both in style and tone, stealth helicopter nerfs, we've got the player profile and stats page, BSVM nerfs, tons of stuff, so I'm going to go over most of the important stuff here in this video. As always guys, if you enjoy the content, leave a like down below and feel free to subscribe. Okay, so first of all, the Kaleidoscope rework. You guys will have probably seen a video or two of this knocking around the internet over the past few months. So what they've done is completely rework the map. There's more cover now. There are new positions for some of the flags. I think the map overall is a little bit smaller. There's improved flow, and they've also put in a bunch of new assets, including tactical destruction. So as you play the map, it should now change a little bit over the course of the round, and overall the map should have a more war-torn look that fits with the story of Battlefield 2042. No more groundskeepers keeping that perfectly trimmed grass anymore. As I mentioned before, renewal won't be coming until Season 2, so this is going to be the last update of Season 1. I believe that Season 2 will be starting on the 1st of November as soon as Season 1 is done, so we can expect the renewal changes to come a bit further down the line. Now they've also gone ahead and made some of the first specialist changes here. Now there's not going to be anything gameplay related. Basically, they've just decided to change the style and the tone of some of the specialists, and these are the first changes that we're seeing here. So on screen now you can see what some of the models are going to look like. We don't actually have any pictures of them like in the game, so it's kind of hard to tell how they're going to look when you're actually in a round, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Now this next one is pretty big here. So the stealth helicopters, I know they have been the bane of the infantry's existence at the moment. Those 30mm cannon pods have just been so overpowered. Finally we've seen some nerfs to them. So the RAH-68 Huron and the YG-99 Hannibal, they say here, we felt the stealth helis 30mm pods were too powerful against infantry because they could be fired for extended periods of time, leaving little opportunity for infantry to retaliate. So what they've done is increased the overheat of the 30mm cannon pods, and that way they won't be able to spam them for as long now. You're gonna have to get out of dodge and go away and wait for them to come off of the overheat before you can take out more infantry. How much they've actually increased this by, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. It's kind of ironic because as I was making this video, I was actually making a separate video all about the stealth helicopters and how DICE can better balance them. So I guess I'm going to have to put that one on the back burner now. Cheers, DICE. Okay, the next big thing coming with patch 1.2 is the player profile and statistics pages. So your player profile will show your in-game progress and your stats since launch, you know, things like how long it's going to be until you get your next mastery, which masteries you're closest to achieving, and things like that. And then of course in the statistics page you can see your kills, your deaths, your assists, and of course the most important thing, your KD ratio. Aim assist on controllers has been adjusted as well to ensure it feels smoother and more consistent while tracking moving targets. Nothing about mouse input here, so I'm not sure if they're making any fixes to that. I don't play on console myself, so I can't really attest to there being any problems with aim assist, but let me know down below if that's something that you guys have been battling with. Now continuing on this theme of nerfing things, this patch actually there seems to be a lot of nerfs to different things. So it's not just the stealth helicopters, a bunch of weapons have been nerfed, and I think the one that stands out here is the BSVM. I think a lot of us have seen people using that weapon all over the place. It just seems too versatile, a little bit too good in every respect. So this is what they've done. Full auto mode on the BSVM no longer provides recoil compensation and instead gives a 15% dispersion penalty. So as you guys will know, when you equip the weapon on every round, it's in single fire mode and you have to manually change it to full auto. And essentially it was the same as single fire mode, only it fired faster. So now there's going to be a little bit of a penalty for that. And they've also adjusted the BSVM high power magazine damage drop off to begin at 50 meters instead of 100 meters. So those high power rounds won't have quite as much range as they did. So the K30 here, we've seen a few nerfs to that as well. I'm not going to run through them all, but I will put them up on screen. Mostly just a damage nerf across the board. The K30, of course, a favourite, so hopefully that should help other weapons, especially SMGs, be a little bit more on par with the rest of the gang. The M5A1 has seen a little bit of a nerf to its damage as well, as has the NP9. Now, I do say it's the patch of nerfs, but actually this is quite a significant buff. This sounds insane. DICE may have gone a little bit overboard with this one. So they are adjusting the EBAA Wildcat's anti-air capabilities to ensure these weapons are more effective in their intended use of dealing with air vehicles. So let's start with the missiles. Damage increased from 130 to 210. That's not far from a doubling there. This means it's now a 2-hit kill against the Nightbird and jets, and it will leave attack helicopters at critical HP. Anti-aircraft missiles lock-on range has also been increased from 400 to 600 meters. So these are going to be a force to be reckoned with now. You're really going to have to watch out for those missiles, but this change here is the more important one. The 30mm AA cannon's minimum damage has been removed entirely. It now always does the same damage at all ranges. So if you're just on the brink, just in range of the AA cannons, before you could take a little bit of chip damage and it wouldn't really matter. Now I presume they're going to be doing the same amount of damage as if you were sat on their faces. You know, it's going to be brutal for any helicopter in the sky. And they've also slightly increased the damage that they do to jets and helicopters. So better range, more damage, better range on the missiles, and more damage on the missiles. You can't really ask for much more of a buff than that, can you? Honestly, I do see people complaining about them. My experience of being in the Wildcat is that whenever I get over to the middle of the map, I find that they absolutely shred helicopters as they are right now. So this huge buff is kind of a little bit surprising to me. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Hopefully they're not going to end up like the AA tanks of Battlefield 4, because as we all know, those are absolutely devastating, not just against air targets, but infantry as well. You know, how are these 30mm AA cannons now going to act against infantry at range, for example? One more nerf here, the 50mm air cannon pod for the transport helis, of course. This has already been nerfed once. DICE decided that they're still way too powerful against infantry, so they're nerfing them again. So the ammo count is being reduced from 12 to 8, blast radius from 5 meters to 3.5, and the replenish time from 3.5 seconds all the way to 6 seconds. So that is a pretty massive nerf there. That replenish time, almost double the time it took before. You're not going to be able to spam these things anywhere near as much. And finally, last but not least, to finish on here, we've got a slight buff to Mrs. Ji Sung Paik. They've increased the spot duration of her EMG-X scanner from half a second to 0.85 seconds, and the scanner will no longer cause Paik to be spotted when she uses it. I have to agree with this. I don't really see many people running Paik. She seems, you know, not that great compared to a lot of the other picks, so definitely a buff that I can get on board with. Anyway, that is most of the important changes, guys. That is going to do it for this one. Like the video if you liked it. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.